Welcome back to Dungeon Master's Corner. Today is Christmas! In June! And what a bloody Christmas it was indeed. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeon Master's Corner. My name is Brian.
I'm Nicole.
And with us again is our good friend, Tom.
Hey, how we doing?
So today, in the last, I shouldn't say it in the last one because Matt will yell at me. But he's not here to yell at me.
He's also not the one who does the editing with these anymore, so fuck it.
That's true, it's all us. So in the last couple episodes that we've had you, Tom, we talked about our Lost Mines of Phandelver campaign and the things that we did as Placid and Eugene, and where Nicole was the assistant DM. Well, she didn't say an assistant for long.
No, she did not. No, she did not.
No.
So, Nicole,
Yes.
as a full-fledged DM for this particular one, why don't you introduce us to the shenanigans, I think is the appropriate word.
So, around the holiday time, both Halloween and Christmas are just a lot of fun for me, and I want to have holiday fun with my friends. Usually in the means of trying to horribly, horribly murder them. So, around Christmas time, I found on the DM's Guild, which this episode will include spoilers for this one shot. So, fair warning, but it is an amazing one. I definitely recommend. It's called In the Black Midwinter, a one-off festive spectacular by Simon Perrins. We will definitely link it in the description for you to find. Definitely recommend going and checking it out. But this one included the Yule Lads, which are a whole chaos force around the holidays. It had Krampus, it had Joel Bakken, had a whole bunch of shit. I was excited to share it with my friends. And speaking of my friends, who did you guys play for this one shot?
For this one shot, I played Schnapps, the halfling. Ironically, I don't only just play halflings, but I do like them a lot. The halfling drunken master monk, and it was the first. I decided this one. I was like, you know what? Last minute one shot. We're doing a Christmas one. I was like, I've never played a monk. I don't feel like picking out spells. I'm gonna play a monk, and I was so excited to play my monk. He was an old, very old halfling with a long beard, and he had shepherd's, I believe it's called a crook. I mispronounced it, but a shepherd's hook, or also known as a crook. And he had his jug of booze that hung on the top of it, and he would like just tilt the staff a little bit to pour alcohol in his mouth from like 2 feet up. And that was Schnapps.
I forgot about the alcohol on the hook.
That's I told you this was going to be a long one. I know this.
Yeah,
I know this module front to back because as I run it through my head and be like, where did it go wrong?
He relives it in his dreams.
There were many places where it went wrong.
Oh. So I played a character that was very near and dear to my heart. His name is Cyrus, and he is an air genasi. And I've played him a few times. He was one of my first, long-term characters. He started off as an Eldritch Knight, because I wanted to be a knife thrower. I just wanted to throw knives at people. It was fun, and you could bond with it and summon it back. So I played him as a fighter. I've played him as a fighter rogue when I ran him through Strahd. But this time around, I played him as a straight-up rogue, as the Soul Knife, because it was just perfect for what I wanted him to do, because you create the knife in your hand out of psychic energy and throw it, so kind of had like a gambit feel at the same time. And that was usually the mentality I wanted to give for him, was that kind of, not saucy exactly, but like that overconfident but still lovable rogue, for lack of a better word.
And we also had our friend Andrew playing a character named Jafar. I am spacing on his class at the moment. I think he was a sorcerer, if I remember right. He was a caster.
He was a sorcerer.
Yeah, we were.
Yes,
we all died easily. So yeah,
we were all
or at least
fairly
we were afraid
squishy,
of dying
and
easily.
I believe the last thing I said in our group chat when we realized we had no healer was, I was like, you know what, we'll go down fighting, and
Bull howdy.
And that ended up being quite the prediction. I
lot
was
of
not
moving
even
parts in this
expecting
one.
it. There were so many moving parts. Like they fought the Blizzard King, which was like this Yeti entity that fought in the beginning and then escaped them. They got to the town where they started. You tried to hunt him down. Fortunately for you guys, you did not end up encountering him again. You did end up in the town. You might have been better off in.
Yeah.
Things might have gone a lot better. You ended up in the town investigating, where. Oh, which Yule lad did you run into? Sausage Swiper?
Well, before we even get there, where there's so much more, we showed up at that place where we had a feast. And there was alcohol around, so I inherently filled my jug with the free wine that I found out later was cursed wine. And as I was drinking it, I was taking poison damage, but because I was a stout halfling, I was resistant to it, so I was only taking like 1 point of damage, so I didn't even really realize. And that's where we also pulled, that's where the deck of merry things.
To be entirely fair to the wine,
yeah,
it had a bunch of random effects. You just kept rolling the poison one.
Oh, we'll get there. I remember.
Really
again,
you were just
back
really
and forth.
Unlucky.
Back and forth. I know this campaign back and forth.
There were like 10 options and you kept rolling the bad ones.
But that's when you had the deck of merry things, and that's where we got the ghost knight.
Oh my god, yeah. So the deck of as people, D&D players, have heard tales of the deck of many things that can be a blessing and a curse and game-breaking. This one-shot had the deck of merry things, which had different holiday version effects. Some similar, some different. There was like Vow of Enmity.
I still ended up naked and fighting a monster alone. So.
Yes, you did.
Thank God I was faster than him.
Yeah, you were faster than him. Which then he ended up being in your service, which ended up being to your benefit.
But yeah, so you pulled the card and like a ghostly knight came and you had to like 1v1 him. And because you won, he became your servant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I had just like 5 extra feet of movement on him.
Well, because you kept bonus actioning, dashing, disengage, and then you...
I could bonus action dash. That's how I did it. I just rope-a-doped him around a table, throwing psychic daggers at him.
I watched and I think took more poison damage because I was drinking.
The thing is, you weren't even supposed to be able to move.
Oh, that's right. We were frozen. We were frozen while this whole thing went down. We couldn't even help.
You were frozen. Jafar was stuck in Krampus's bag for a time.
Yeah.
Because of the card
that happened so soon. So quickly.
But that's where...
You also pulled a whole bunch of cards because why not?
Yeah, you did. You pulled...
It's a one-shot. Why the fuck not?
You pulled a couple cards. I don't think I pulled any. I think I was more infatuated with the booze. But it was those, what were the gang that we were looking for?
The Yule Lads.
The Yule Lads. We only found one of them, and I killed him horribly. Because we were in...
Just immediately.
We were in the
house.
We
were investigating the house, and he was in, like, the cupboard.
He was in one of the cupboards.
Because he was Sausage Swiper, which, of course, we're 5. We're 5 years old, and we giggle over Sausage Swiper.
And there was alcohol at the top shelf, so I used my crook and I like climbed up the shelf and was climbing into the shelf, and I saw him, and I guess you let me get like one reaction, and I used my action to grab him and throw him out of the shelf, so he landed prone, and then on my way down I did a
elbow drop him?
I like monk flip. No, I went for the sternum with the 1 foot as my unarmed strike and like hit him in the sternum and then flurried, so I got another and then I just like axe kicked him in the face, and on one of them I'm pretty sure I crit, and that was the end of it. I just like backflipped off the shelf, landed on his chest plate, and then just axe kicked him, and it was done.
Just ended that man's whole career.
Yeah.
There was no more sausage.
But it happened so
swiped.
fast. I felt so connected to the moment. Like he was because he's drunk. So he's drunk, and then he just got so startled he like snapped into gear, and then just was like, oh shit.
got so startled because he was drunk that he murdered someone.
Don't startle
Yeah.
me like that.
Which was, I was so excited. I was looking forward to using all the Yule lads. I'm like, yeah, and then they drop them so easily. I'm like, oh, I guess this is gonna be like a walk in the park for them. It'll be fine.
No.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
The industrial park.
Yeah, this was but we didn't find the other two though, right? Were they around? We just never found them.
There were like seven
There's,
others.
like, seven-
There were a lot
Oh, there
more.
were seven?
Yeah, there's a lot more. You guys just you accidented your way towards the end plot before like finding more of them or finding more things.
Mm-hmm.
Does that surprise you in any way?
No, it's either we explore everything or beeline it. There is no in between.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
However, if you had possibly hunted down more Yule lads, it would have delayed the end or made the end come sooner. I'm not really sure. So they go down.
Well, I know we didn't really know what was going on. We found that there was a shrine, wasn't there, when we entered?
Yes.
To
when we
Julbakken,
first
yeah.
entered.
Yeah, and then I remember I was trying to play off that I was a bard. I don't know why. I just decided I'm going to pretend I'm a bard and see how far I can push that.
Mhm.
It did not last long.
No.
But I know I like sang a song because I rolled really high on the history.
Mhm.
And I sang a song to Julbakken like as an offering.
Right.
Which,
And that was good. Like that helped me out a lot later.
Yeah, we didn't know. I don't remember what the shrine said, but you picked up that like it was you were supposed to try and give him an offering. Yeah,
Or like there's this entity here.
Yeah.
I want to be on its good side. Like I knew something was up with that shrine.
let's
good.
see, what was it with this shrine?
I'm pretty sure it was just whoever didn't make an offering got attacked relentlessly.
well, that's how it turned out because I remember we were investigating and we made our way out. We can avoid a few spoilers here in case other people want to play. But we got down to the lake because that was where we needed to be.
That was where you had to like get the item to slay Krampus or whatever.
And we had no idea what the bell was about.
No idea.
There's a child sitting on the center
In the middle of the frozen lake, yeah.
Yes, and there
was a puzzle
snowmen.
with that child. There were snowmen
that
around.
puzzle didn't happen.
There was a puzzle.
There was a puzzle.
I scooped it up and put it in a bag. I'm like, we'll solve this later. Get the kid out of the lake now. Because I think I went out there in a boat on the
You
ice.
had
Because I'm
your
sitting there going,
assistant
Mhm.
push you out.
right. I had the knight push me out there because I'm like, I'm gonna grab that kid and all this ice is gonna shatter and I'm gonna freeze and drown. Forgetting I could fly. Well, float. But because air genasi. Oh no, because I used that ability already on Kevin from Home Alone.
Yes.
Because that was a thing that we completely avoided by levitating to the top and scaring the shit out of this
That's
kid.
right. That's right. In the houses.
Yeah, you ended up avoiding a lot of damage, a lot of traps. Just a
If
little-
you like Christmas movies, there's a lot of references to them in
That's
this
right,
module.
yeah.
like
This
you
feat.
are going to love this one. But that final fight, we start off with Cyrus going out to try to get the child in the middle of the lake.
And I
with
was
his
pretty
hip.
sure those snowmen, because we fought those snowmen in the beginning, I thought once we saved the kid, it was going to trigger those snowmen. But if I can, I took, right before the fight, I took one last sip of that cursed wine, and I rolled well. And it said, every attack that you make for the rest, I think it was the rest of the session, is made at advantage. So I was feeling real confident. And I was
Oh,
ready
real
actioning.
confident.
I was ready actioning to hit one of the snowmen once they started to move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was not the snowman.
Was not the snowman.
Twas not the snowman.
Because leaping across came jolly old Krampus and Julbakken, two massive Christmas evil entities that
Oh.
And I guess
don't
what
even
we
know how to
learned
explain.
was that if you did not make a offering to Jobakin, Jobakin attacked you. And I'm pretty sure you opened up the combat with the Gora attack with a crit right on me from the side.
Yeah.
While I was just ready to crack the snowman.
I'm gonna hit the snowman. I'm gonna hit the snowman.
And
Sidelined by
Just
a
get hit
fucking
by some
reindeer.
horns.
Mhm.
And I think you had a second attack, which put me completely unconscious.
Mhm.
And that was it for Schnapps, as far as, like, I was unconscious for the rest of the fight.
Our tank went down
I
immediately.
went down
And I would like to
immediately.
point out that our tank was a monk.
Our tank was a monk, and then
And
immediately after
Krampus
that...
was focused on Jafar because he had gotten the snow globe and had Krampus's, you vow of
Ire?
enmity essentially. So Krampus focused on Jafar, Jolbakin focused on poor Schnapps here, and Cyrus
And
just
Jafar.
got
I'm
to...
sitting.
And Jafar.
I'm sitting there pushing.
Because after Jobakin took me down, turned right to Jafar, because Jafar also didn't make the offering, and took his 2 attacks and knocked Jafar unconscious. I'm pretty sure.
Was it
Something like
Jolbakin?
that.
I thought it was Krampus who got
No,
Jafar.
but they ganged up on him. They
Oh,
ganged
did
up
they
on
gang
him
up
on
at
him?
one point.
Yeah.
They both went after him, and then I got to the shoreline with this kid. I'm pushing this boat across the ice
Yeah.
with this kid in it, like, I gotta get you to shore, I gotta get you to shore, I gotta go help them, I gotta go help them. I finally get there, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? They're both down, and I can't heal. So, like an idiot, I just started singing a song about Jelbakin, and I performed well enough, I guess?
I thought
that...
I thought it wasn't going to attack you anyway because you made the offering.
Well, right, but the song had him attack Krampus.
Basically had Jolbakin turn
Got it.
not quite as an ally to you, but to realize
But
that
an
Krampus...
enemy to Krampus.
Yeah.
I don't need you to like me, I need you to hate him.
So then, while
Done.
that's... So you weren't fighting him? You were just,
I was fighting, I was taking hits,
oh, okay.
too.
Yeah.
I got hit hard
your-
by Krampus, but
Your knight helped
I thought
too,
I was...
right?
Yeah, and I thought I
Yeah,
was going
the
to
knight was
TPK
fighting-
them.
I think we killed Krampus, and after Krampus went down, Jelbakin was like, the fuck am I doing here? And pissed off.
Yes.
And it's just me and my knight with your 2 bodies just laying there
Because
like...
that whole time we were rolling death saves, and Andrew being Andrew doesn't tell you, but I rolled two successes and 2 failures, and I think the last one was like an 8 or a 9, and I requested one last move, and Nicole said yes, so I said, Schnapps leans up and takes one last swig of the curse wine, and I rolled more poison damage. And then you were like, he didn't die from the injuries, he died because his liver gave out. It's like, yeah. So that's how Schnapps would go. R.I.P. Schnapps.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, have some murder.
And that was even like right after the other Christmas one-shot we did where it all went very, very well. So,
We'll have to tell that
another
story
time.
another
But
time.
that's
because
how it
that
ended
was
for
a fun
me.
one,
I don't
too.
know. I don't even remember how it ended for your character.
I think you
I
dragged
think
their
I brought
bodies
your
back
bodies back.
to the ghost of like Christmas present or the feast ghost, and hoping like he would help maybe
Yeah.
bring them back somehow.
Can you fix this? No.
Come have
Or,
food.
no. Ho ho ho. Have a cookie. Hey.
I will definitely.
But
Finn.
But this is the first time I ever killed a player. Actually,
So what does that feel like, killing us?
Oh,
You murderous monster.
it feels like a chain that was weighing me down just kind of snapped and freed me a little bit. I have a taste for it now.
I knew it. I said she's like first blood and second blood in the same campaign, and I was like, she knows. I think what realized, I feel like I could be wrong, and you can tell me that I'm totally wrong, but like there might be a fear of like, oh, if I kill their characters, they're gonna hate me or something. And when we were like laughed it off, then you were probably like, ooh, I can kill their characters.
I can say there's definitely a fear of killing characters. I'm not afraid that my friends will hate me over killing their characters. I mean, If I killed them via bullshit, yeah,
Mhm.
no. But like, I've killed characters in the past. I've killed the same person's character multiple times, but I've actually killed people's characters in ways where they stopped and looked at me and just went, "That was awesome."
Mhm.
All right, as long as it's a good death.
Yeah, a good death, people can get over. I think a lot of DMs also fear, like, we've invested a lot of story in this character, and the story's just gone.
If there's no way to bring the character back, it's just done. It's
Yeah.
just a dead end.
And that definitely, that's a feel-bad
Right.
situation.
I mean,
So I think,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think a one-shot's a great time to, like, try to start getting over that fear, because, you know, who cares if it's a one-shot character who dies?
Yes.
You kind of start building yourself up to that. Meaningful deaths are just so much better than the random ones, but I think the random ones also have a really good place, because a random death kind of makes the world more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Can
like,
definitely agree
did
with
you ever
that.
see that episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, The Body?
No, I've not.
I did not.
It's the episode where her mother dies. And there's no music through the entire episode. It's really well done. And Buffy is just hunting the monster that killed her mother. It was an aneurysm. It was random, it was unfair, and there's literally nothing she could have done to stop it. And it's heavy, but it's such a good story.
It's interesting. I do kind of agree, but I also think that if a character in a long-term campaign dies, I don't think the story really does end. You can make it, the lore and connections throughout the world connect back to that character, so it still will hit home in the heart of the player that once played that character and the players that were around. So I think it's possible, as long as you like make it part of the story. You're like, oh, that's right, this person.
You just kind of need to get over that initial mind block of, oh god, what if I actually kill one of their characters?
I mean, it's like real life. You lose someone in your life, but then like, you know, you're walking through your house and you stumble upon something and you remember them. And I think like you could do that in D&D also. Yeah.
I think that's a good way to wrap
deep,
that one
bro.
up, actually. It is deep.
Good bittersweet
deep,
note.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Dungeon Master's Corner. I have been Brian.
I've been Nicole.
And I've been Tom.
Tom, where can our lovely listeners find you on the internets?
Oh, sure. You can find me in a gaggle of places. But mostly I'm a stand-up comedian, and I am also the host of You Had to Be There, a D&D storytelling podcast, which can be found, the audio version can be found pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. I'm on all the major ones. It can also be found on YouTube. You could either look up You Had to Be There, or you can look up Tom DeSillis Comedy. And then you can catch us live on Twitch at You Had to Be There podcast on Twitch. And be sure to follow me at Tom DeSillis Comedy, pretty much on all social media platforms.
Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you in our next episode. Bye!
Bye!
Bye.
Gonna have to get used to that, Tom.
It's all Andrew's fault.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Dungeon Master's Corner. If you'd like to support us, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Reliably Chaotic to aid us in sating our Dungeon Master's bloodlust. You can also drop us a line on Twitter at Reliably Chaotic. We'd love to hear from you.